Unleash the power of knowledge and connect with the heartbeat of the African diaspora. Download our African Diaspora News Channel app now on Google Play and Apple App Store. Stay informed with authentic and diverse perspectives, breaking news, and cultural insights. Immerse yourself in a community that celebrates unity, resilience, and progress. Experience the vibrancy of the diaspora at your fingertips. Don't miss out. Empower your perspective today. Search African Diaspora News Channel and join the conversation.
So I came across this video of Tim Wise talking about the very, very obvious differences in the way that the media portrays black men who commit crimes versus white men. Take a look.
Local news overrepresents black folks as perpetrators, overrepresents white folks as victims. So the message that gets sent is they're dangerous, and specifically to you. They are not only bad people, they're going to hurt you. So therefore, we want to keep them on that side of town. We want to keep their children in those schools over there. We don't want to work around them. We don't want to live around them, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that message comes through loud and clear in the way that media represents people of color. You know, whenever we, thinking about Tamir Rice, the 12-year-old child that was shot in Cleveland by police, when that happened, what did they do? The first news story in Cleveland that made a big splash was about Tamir Rice's parents and the history of domestic abuse and criminality among his parents, not about the cop that killed him. We talk worse about black victims than we do white killers. What did we say about Ted Bundy? Oh, he was so smart and he was so quiet and he always seemed so nice. Every time one of these white boys goes and shoots up a school, what do we say? We had no idea he was going to do this. So we talk better. We have more sympathy for white folks who commit mass murder, bury bodies under the house, cook them up in a soup pot and eat them, right? Than we do black folks who were killed by police. We start digging for every bad thing they ever did. We want to know if they had a juvenile record. We want to know if they'd ever been arrested. That's what the media does. And until that changes, I'm afraid white folks will stay in denial, and it'll be very hard for us to move forward, whether we're talking about cops or just average everyday folks.
I'm with him when he's right. And that is so true. But let's pick some examples like George Floyd. And the fact that this man was in broad daylight, unalived by a police officer. What did they do? What happened? Everybody was looking into what George Floyd had done wrong. And nobody was paying attention to the fact that this man was unalived by a police officer that's one of the folks in broad daylight, no regard for this man's life, okay? And let's talk about Kyle Rittenhouse and what happened with him when he went and committed the crimes he committed by unaliving two people and physically harming so many other people. And he was dropped off by a parent and committed all those crimes. And not to mention a lot of other people, of the folks that have gone and shot up schools and done all of those things. What do they do when they dig into their past? They talk about mental health issues. They talk about the fact that, they were bullied in school and all of these other things. That's what they do when it comes to the folks. But never have I heard, at least not in my time of doing my research, a black person commit a crime and they do this kind of research and say, oh, it must be a mental health issue, or it's, he's been bullied all his life, or he's been essayed or abused in some way, and that's why he's doing that. Have some compassion. No, never heard that happen. They certainly were not driven through a drive-through to get, a Happy Meal either. Okay? So there is an obvious difference in the way black people are treated, and there is no one that can dispute that. I dare you. I double dare you. Because even when police are called to a mental health crisis or what they call a mental health emergency, what normally happens? The black person ends up unalived. They take all leave of their ability to de-escalate, but not when it comes to the folks. No issue there. It's always a peaceful arrest. Sometimes they're even backing up, and sometimes they're having long conversations, trying to reason with that person. Black people are not offered that same luxury. We are not offered the same luxury. So, I may have my feelings that are mixed about Tim Wise, but when it comes to this one, I'm with him 100%. This is spot on. And why is that? It's called systemic racism. It's in the system. Period. Dot. The end. And I remember when this thing happened with George Floyd, everybody was saying, oh, now we're going to finally see change. Have we seen any change? I know when that was happening, I did not say that. I did not say that because I know that it will never take just one incident and one person for this to change because it's systemic. But I know that I am dedicated to continually exposing anything that's against our people, and I will never stop. That's why I appreciate platforms like African Diaspora News, where we have amazing journalists that are all killing it and making sure that we expose it one story at a time. Let me know what you all think about this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this content. Also, don't forget to download the African Diaspora News app so that you'll have access to exclusive content you won't even see here. So you want to download that app. Also, subscribe to